Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at if you should be farming or if you should throw your gear away or if you should just not bother even touching the game. Now, the new changes, they're uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of these so-called changes. There are easier ways to have solved all of this. I think if Thailander and the team had just said, we're just going to bring an optimization station that is expensive, that would have really solved a whole lot of stuff. But nobody listens to us, and whatever they want to do, they're the ones who get to code and program stuff. But I think at the end of the day, it's probably going to be a thing. Watch and see. Anyways, so some people are saying, this feels like a waste of my time. I farmed all this gear and now I have to go back and farm stuff all over again and all that stuff. And to be very honest, I do feel that pain, because after they made all those changes, after we got the Eagle Bear, after fighting it felt a little weird. I was not happy about the nerf to the Eagle Bear. I did not want that weapon to be nerfed. Having played hours trying to get that one gun and then for them to change all the numbers. But once I understood exactly what they did, I wasn't really worried anymore. So what I'm trying to say is, not until we see the update will you actually have cause to worry. So to speculate now is really early. You have to see where the game stands and either keep playing or log out and delete. That will be the reaction of a whole lot of people. They will just either keep playing the game and farming, or once they see this new Gear 2.0, they'll delete the game, and nobody can blame anybody for making whatever decision that they want to make. So once you get to that point, if you feel like, yeah, this feels like a waste of my time and I don't want to invest more time, then right on, more power to you, because there are other games that people can be playing and spending their time and being and achieving and getting rewards. And I feel the developers need to learn that lesson the hard way and understand that gear changes, is not content, and they need to understand it more. I think they're starting to get it, because I remember the developers in the state of the game actually continuously emphasizing, saying, all these new gear changes, we're only going to bring it with content, which is normal practice for the division anyways. It's not like, it's just in this particular division 2, they haven't really brought replayable content, so it's a little more, we're not able to pick more holes in things that we haven't seen, unlike the Division 1, where there will be huge gear changes, but they'll bring it alongside, in most cases, not every case, they'll bring it alongside replayable content, so you're just working through both content and learning new systems, and it was very difficult for you to kind of like analyze and over scrutinize. Whereas here, they just gave us linear missions, we blew through them, and then the next thing was, okay, why does my gear feel like this? Why can't I achieve these numbers? So I won't say throw the baby out with the bathwater first. You got to know exactly where you stand, which will mean, some people will be prioritizing, okay, if I don't know exactly what we're going to be getting, I'm probably going to be keeping my named items. I'm most likely going to have to prioritize farming backpacks and chest pieces. That way you're just ready. I mean, that's another thing. Like, I have 4 characters filled with gear and brand sets through whichever change and whatever they want to throw. That way I could just mix and match and get gear and just, throw the rest of the stuff away. Especially now that you have all the 6 pieces available. It wasn't like Title Update 6. Title Update 6 was a weird one where, you were going to be getting new stuff, like new brand sets that was never in the game. Now you're going to be getting brand sets, but they're going to be reworked. So why not farm for some really good ones that you can probably use? How you're going to use them, I don't know. But if you see that they look good, hang on to them, throw them in a stash. Another thing you can do too is, if you're going to even still keep playing the game, even when they release the Gear 2.0, this might even be a time for you to work on leveling a second character, or a third, or maybe even a fourth. Goodness, like some of us, because that is one way that you can leverage, the space and, the changes, because people are going to be we're going to be learning the system. There's not a user manual that comes with these so-called gear changes as well. So I would be very cautious as to making a knee-jerk reaction right now. And then Another thing too that also makes sense, which should have been done a while ago, was the power cap. And I think because the changes were coming too often, it just almost made no sense on where to put a power cap increase. And now that they're doing that, we might be seeing some gear score increases as well. And so this makes more sense, because even if they left the gear the way it was and then they said, okay, well, all gear score level 600 is now able to roll the max rolled items, we would have all been like, well, I guess it's another whole farming expedition anyways. So when you look at it like that, you can say, okay, there's probably some room to allow for refarming just a little bit. Not like, oh yeah, no, just a little bit of room where you can say, okay, we can refarm a lot of the things that we've refarmed before. And then I think where it all really boils down to, and I think the convergence of this farming stuff will be the nature of the content that they released, or that they're going to release, sorry. So we don't know what kind of content is coming after episode 3. We don't even know what kind of content is coming in episode 3. We know we're going to be going to Coney Island, and some people are saying it's going to be a mission. Yes, most likely a mission. Classified stuff, yes. Now, is the classified stuff going to be in New York? That'd be really cool if the classified stuff was in New York. At least that would give more than just 2 missions in New York, and you can kind of explore New York on a little bit more. That would be really nice, I think. And until we see the kind of content that comes in after, or have some kind of an idea, people then might, I would then say you can maybe make up your mind based on that. So currently, information is still early. Another state of the game is coming. They're changing skills again for the nth time, which is still, in my mind, absolutely confusing. Like, how did they release this game and ever mention the word skills when skills are still, in my opinion, in an infancy stage in terms of how they're developing it? I think largely with the Division 1, they were able to kind of get skills under control by putting them towards roles. And I think that really worked when they had Reclaimer, and then they had, maybe people running some Final Measure and Firecrest. It worked out that way for skill power to have a use and not just be all over the place. Now, some people were running some really creative builds too with skills, but it wasn't out of hand like, the way skills can go in this game. While, you have a lot of weapon damage, and at the same time, you're able to rock some really serious skills that will cause and proc different, effects that will add more weapon damage based on, it gets crazy out here in the Division 2 sometimes when you think about those, those PvP builds, which I love watching build videos. I love watching the builds and seeing what people can come up with. But largely, I'm going to conclude this video here and say we need to just take it easy, relax, see where the direction of all this is going. And then once we're close to that place, we get an idea, then I feel like any community member can make a decision one way or the other. And I feel you'll be justified because it's your time, and you may not want to, put in that time investment, and that is definitely understandable. So that's pretty much my little take. Thank you very much for listening to the video and watching. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.